Tank girl. Wow, wow, wow. Tank girl. Wow, wow, wow. Tank girl. It's a film we don't really address. Mamma Mia 2 is best, though we haven't seen it at the time of recording. Listener, don't fall into our web of sin. And please listen to this podcast. Get myself in the zone. Gear on in. Make myself ready to record a podcast that I do. Okay, so I feel like we need to not do what we did last time, because what we did last time, I was in a state of, what is this film? I don't know how to process this. This is not that feeling. This is a very different kind of experience. Guys,
it's the same question, what is this film?
Yeah, but
with a very different inflection and tone to it.
Exactly. Like, you know, Hausu, which was amazing. Like, you may not have listened to the show yet, Sean and EJ. I did unironically use the term masterpiece.
Same.
Because it's a fucking amazing film. The film we've just watched, which you've seen on the title of this podcast, it's not that. Welcome back to Hurd Ya Saw. We just watched Tank Girl. And I before anything else, I want to get it on record that this is Shay's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I also I hadn't seen the film.
Yep.
And heard it was a cult film, and I suggested it, and Nick said, "Oh, you had seen this
I
film."
have. I saw it like 1,000 years ago.
You had seen this film. You were like, "Yes, I think this is a good
I
choice."
saw this movie when I was like 12, and I was like,
specifically
yeah, all right.
said, EJ, I think you're going to like this
I thought
one."
you might. Like,
Wrong.
I may have misinterpreted the audience a little
So,
bit.
I don't want to say this is entirely my fault.
I feel like we're all to blame.
I'm
Except
not
EJ.
to blame.
EJ is not to blame. Okay, so we're going to begin, as ever, with a lovely sexy round of one-line hot takes. EJ, do you want to change places? Because I'm going to be
sure.
loud and you're going to be
You
quiet.
are, yeah.
Yeah, okay, sorry. You're hearing the sausage get made. Sean. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
You've not been on like the last two casts,
I don't think
right?
so.
Because you won on Brothers Grimm, because that was me and Perry. You
No.
won on Hausu. What was
No.
before that?
The other film we watched.
It was
Kingsman.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
on Kingsman. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So it's been a little while.
Been a while.
Yeah. What's
Uh,
your one-line hot take for Tank Girl?
My one-line hot take is just very simply, what the fuck did I just watch?
It's tried, it's tested, it's true, it's a classic. Thank you, Sean. Shay.
yeah. So the film was. It had a few little good moments, and then
Yeah.
I kept saying this is producers who have seen MTV once and said, "Oh, the kids are into this MTV thing, aren't they? They're really into the MTVs."
They're into like, you know.
This is the emoji movie of
Oh.
That's my one-line hot take.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one-line
Wait,
hot take.
this is like a movie is parodying 90s movies, but it actually is one. Yes.
I feel like my one-line hot take has to be, this movie is like 70% montage.
Yeah.
And that extends from actual sequences where montage happens to, like, the scenes themselves are like montage where things will happen and there's no real connective tissue, but it's like, don't worry, just move on. It's implied there's a story. EJ. The fickle finger of
This
fate
is our worst yet.
this is not the worst
Yes,
yet.
it is.
Whoa.
What? Think
Will-
of an easier
You
thing.
watched The Mummy.
That was easy.
Oh,
Oh,
to
it's a
recount.
synopsis.
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like,
Think of a harder film to recount than this.
I mean, the Owls of Gahul
that was
like,
easier.
oh,
That had a linear
Uh,
storyline.
I'd say Flash Gordon because he was asleep for half of it.
I still managed to get through that.
that's true.
This
All right.
was worse than Flash Gordon.
We can flash
I want to hear this synopsis.
Lay us out
Yeah,
the
this is-
synopsis. Let's
Okay.
go. I'm going to move the mic just a little closer.
Without ever being told, right? We know that it's 2033.
Well, there's an opening monologue where Tank Girl, Rebecca, is like, hey, it's 2030, there's no TV. That will become relevant later. And also, there's no water. Everything's fucked. My boyfriend's hot.
Yeah, okay. So it's
That boyfriend is
2033,
hot.
Boyfriend's
and
V hot.
there is a water shortage because it doesn't.
A comet. Yes.
Yeah,
Sorry, you seem to be all at sea.
I'm not.
The funny
This
thing is,
film is. I am not.
Oh!
we parodied Hurd Ya Saw on the last episode, and I did Nick interrupting you.
Thank you.
during the synopsis.
I'm glad you kept the authenticity.
I'm gonna say nothing for the rest of this
Okay,
episode.
I will ask you for input because I know that you can provide it, and I will probably need it, but not yet.
This is damning.
Okay. This film takes place in an unnamed desert, which maybe wasn't always one, but a comet hit the Earth. It hasn't rained in 11 years, and Tank Girl, who is the only thing you might know her from is Orange is the New Black now. She is Lolly. Looks pretty much the same. Okay.
Has not
So-
aged.
Yeah. Actually, she's aged significantly, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
I've not watched much Orange is the New Black.
It's good.
She's in the later series.
Yeah.
So you might know.
Yes.
Okay, so she is a sort of cartoonish character who is very childlike, but also not. It's very weird vibes. It's
She's very sex-ish.
yes.
Like, a lot of sex having.
Yes.
Implied. Strongly implied.
Strongly implied. She lives in a weird haunted house in the middle of the desert with her boyfriend and some children, and they grow weed.
And Shay's dad.
And Shay's dad's there.
Yeah.
They grow weed and other stuff in the basement and steal water from whoever controls the water. It's Malcolm McDowell. Their house is raided and she's captured and everyone is killed. Supposedly.
Including my dad.
Including Shay's dad.
This
Immediately
devastating part
Shay's
of the
dad
film.
gets shot. It's pretty rough.
She's captured and taken to Water and Power, and Malcolm McDowell, who we already know is a psychopath, because he made a dude walk on glass,
Yes!
and then was like, "Why are you walking on glass like a mug?"
You fucking idiot!
dickhead.
I would have killed me!
And then
Fucking A+ villainy.
he sticks a thing of needles in his back, and it converts all of his blood into water, and he drinks it, and it's really grim.
He's like, I love the flavor.
Yeah. I mean, wait, did he literally say that? 'Cause
Yeah,
in my
no,
head, I think
not
he
that.
did.
He said lovely or I
So
like it.
refreshing or
Oh,
something to
okay.
that effect.
No, I love the flavor.
Blood water is my favorite water. Oh.
Okay, so we know he's a villain. The Tank Girl is taken there, and she's really cheeky and
Feisty, I would say.
feisty, yes,
Yeah.
feisty, stupid. Some would say. Is damned into hell.
Yeah, she's stupid, but everyone else is more stupid
Yeah,
than her.
everyone in this movie is very,
Except Naomi Watts.
yeah, she's the only intelligent person. She's thrown into the pits of slavery within the factory. They don't really even say what they're doing.
They're digging dirt.
Why though?
But they-
Wells, I guess.
They're digging the dirt in such a way that it doesn't matter that guard, like, he didn't kick just one
Yeah.
bucket of dirt over. He's like, have, like, fucking 3 more.
Yeah.
All of this dirt back on you into the hole.
Yeah.
It's ambiguous what's going on.
But she hides there and becomes friends with Naomi Watts, who has very specific lesbian energy, but it's never explored, which I think is a big downfall of this film. But she's a pilot and she fixes shit, and a guard is constantly trying to fuck her.
Her name is Jet, by the way.
Jet,
Yes.
yes. She is saved by Tank Girl. They become friends.
Kind of.
It takes a while. Tank Girl is taken away and put in a small pipe, and then she's taken back out of the pipe. In the pipe, she has 2 different colored eyes.
Yes.
That's it, though.
That's never referenced again.
No. She's taken back out of the pipe, and, she escapes in a...
No, you're ahead of yourself.
Uh,
She tries to escape.
No, let EJ get ahead of themselves.
Okay,
Uh,
I'm just gonna tell you what. I'm gonna go
this
get
is
the
like-
other.
there's a
synopsis
tank
is
involved. There's a tank involved. She tries to get out in the tank, and Jet tells her the code, and then it's all like a confusing thing. There's a tank. There's all you need to know is a tank. Eventually, they break out,
Yeah.
and they have a tank, and they might have brought a plane.
Let's just let it roll.
And,
Continue. Keep rolling.
They keep going, and I think he like sucks some water juice out of another person at some point.
He does. Do you
Yeah.
want me to explain who it was?
Nah,
Okay, let's keep rolling.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
The reason why our synopsis goes on so long is because we do every scene. Let EJ just
I'm just gonna
No,
let
why
EJ
would
roll.
we do every scene?
No,
Let EJ
yeah.
This
just
film
run
never
through
made
it.
sense.
Yeah. Continue to roll.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the other bottle
they
of
go
wine.
to a weird place. Yeah, you'll need it.
I'm going to.
They go
Strap
to
in, motherfuckers!
a weird place where, you know that, like, short, the woman with the bangs?
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like, the weird spider. She's in another film. It might be Clue.
Okay.
She's dressed as the same person. I think it's the same character.
Okay.
Crossed over.
Okay, I've
You know
got
who I
with
mean?
Clue. No, I'm not seeing Clue.
Wait, really? Okay, we should watch
We
Clue.
should add that.
And
to
Don't
the
look it up.
Yeah,
Continue with
you
the
look it up.
synopsis.
That lady from Clue.
And I'll
Um,
type in that lady from Clue. Do it.
Okay.
I'm having more wine.
They go to they're trying to rescue the 10-year-old girl.
Yes.
And they go to, like, the Mos Eisley of this movie.
Yep.
And they... Yeah, it's vibes. It's full of women dancing and men in bathrobes. And for some reason, there's a montage of Tank Girl trying on different sexy outfits.
Yes.
And you're sitting there thinking, how was this directed by a woman?
Yep. And there's a water shortage. Don't
And
forget.
this is a pool.
What?
This is all based in a spa.
So what
and-
happens then, EJ?
Okay, they rescue the girl, kind of. They literally just run into her. That's what happens.
She saves herself.
Yeah, she's fine.
She fucks that pedophile up really badly.
Arguably would have been better off if she hadn't met Tank Girl. So, then there's a musical bit where they all sing,
Let's
Let's-
do it.
yeah.
Let's do it. Please do it.
Yeah.
Even fucking in the trees, do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's record a podcast.
That one. Good save. They
I know what the
literally-
intro for this episode
Oh,
is going
yeah.
to be.
They do a musical montage of that, and then guards show up and interrupt it and just fucking kidnap the girl again, and you're just like, well, what the fuck was the point of that?
She's been kidnapped by danger.
Wait, was it Iggy Pop the pedo?
What?
Maybe?
I thought that was Iggy Pop.
Just
It fucking is.
Rat Face, played by Iggy Pop?
Yeah.
What, is that not, no, is that not one
This
of
one.
like the, no, the Iggy Pop?
Oh, rat. Yeah.
Rat Face, isn't that one of the fucking, like, kangaroo
Hang on,
people?
Who's not
Maybe.
John Travolta?
Oh, that guy next to him. It's just some dude.
Some guy.
It looks really
Sorry, so the 10-year-old is
Yeah,
kidnapped.
the 10-year-old's kidnapped, taken away again.
Yeah.
Also put in the small tube. The small tube is creepy.
Yeah.
And then water is poured down, and it's slowly going to drown her. Really makes you wonder how much water he's pouring down there. 'Cause
There's a
he said it was
shortage.
40 meters long.
Yeah. And
And
there's a shortage.
does it just stop at the bottom? Like, what is he
Well,
pouring
apparently
the
it gets,
water
like,
into?
thinner.
It's a pipe. Exponentially thinner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it gets to a point. So what happens in this telling of the movie?
Okay. Then they... Oh, yeah, wait. Oh, they meet kangaroo men.
Boom.
And you just kind of think, where's this going then? And they...
And you're wondering, why is Ice-T here?
Yeah, Ice-T is one of them. I don't know. And they all seem to be high.
There's a whole bit where everyone's on nitrous.
Yeah.
Like that's a legit
There's
thing
a lot
that
of bowling
everybody's
balls
high.
there.
In a rope for some reason.
I don't know.
I feel like that's the strapline of this movie. It's Tank Girl. For some reason.
I think they just had discounts on really specific props.
We'll get into the budget.
There.
We'll get into the budget later.
They're prisoners, and then they say, "Oh, we'll steal you weapons," and then they steal the weapons, and then the kangaroos are like, "All right, sure." And then they have a meal of vegetables, and then a dude plays a saxophone.
Yep.
And the sound is a tenor saxophone.
I knew you were going to go into the specificity of this.
They sourced a baritone saxophone. And you're sitting there being like, what the fuck?
And I'm like, I know what saxophones sound like.
Yes, you would. It's noticeable. Okay. And then they open a casket box and they see a dead kangaroo prophet and everyone freaks out. And you're left wondering who that guy was.
Yeah. Maybe if we'd read the comics, we'd know.
Maybe. And then Tank Girl gets her tank again. And
and her fucking rocket bra.
And she's for some reason on a Paris. What is it? A Paris glide thing?
Like a parasail. She's parasailing behind the tank.
Doesn't make sense.
Apropos of short.
Yeah.
Did you establish that the tank had a brain put into it?
Oh,
no,
the tank had a brain put into it at some
acts
point.
like her pet dog or
yeah,
something.
but we couldn't figure that out until the very, very end.
Yeah, when it actually said, like, I have an opinion, Tank Girl.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh, okay, Tank. Let me put beer into you. What?
Oh, I forgot at some point, Malcolm McDowell's arm gets cut off.
Yes.
And so does his head. So, his arm is replaced with a robot arm. With a bunch of really specific whirligigs that cut things.
Whirligig sauce?
Yes.
Yeah.
Makes me really nostalgic for whirligig sauce.
Yeah, good old
And
whirligig sauce.
we're not sure what happened to his head. That's hidden for the rest of the film.
Cut off by a Chinese gentleman.
Yeah. Very interesting way to get your head cut off by choice. So they all end up back in water and power with the kangaroos. The girl is in a tube.
The girl's in a tube.
They're in really confusing ways just going around shooting each other. And
kind of.
Tank Girl and Malcolm McDowell face off, and his face is off. That was for Morton.
Oh my god.
Because he doesn't have one! It's all hologram.
I appreciate what you've done here, EJ.
He won't, though. You know he won't.
He will.
He'll judge me.
He's not seen Tank Girl, I'm going to take a guess.
I doubt it. I don't think
I've
he'll
not
listen to
seen this
either.
movie, but I appreciate the effort.
Then she electrocutes him and then tries to melt him with water. And then the tank refuses to shoot him, so she shoots him with beer, and it makes no sense. And then, does he get blown up? What happens to him?
Then she shoots him with water,
Oh.
and he's melting.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, he dies eventually.
Eventually.
Yep.
They rescue the girl. How does this film end?
Basically kind of like that.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
it's like...
then the kangaroo that she's been sleeping with turns up and says, "Yep, we did the mission," and then they're like, "Great, let's
Now
go
we're in
into
charge."
animation."
Yeah,
and
now...
And then let's tank surf through water.
You're
Yeah.
left being like, well, what was the mission, and then now what happens? Also, where are they, and what are the rules of this world?
So,
This movie was horrific.
this was an odd one. It was, wasn't good.
No.
Definitely was not good.
No.
I feel like of all the films that we've watched, this might be the most unequivocally bad film. Like,
That might be true.
yeah, because like The Mummy was like, because I feel like this didn't even try. It didn't even take
No.
itself seriously enough to have an attempt at being, in good faith good.
I think it was attempting to be in good faith good. I
Really?
feel like it was like trying to do it was trying to have like its like message of like feminism. Like you talk
Did
about.
not do that
Well,
at all.
Yeah, I know, but it doesn't. I don't think it succeeds. But it's trying, and like.
There are bits. There's a great bit where Naomi Watts shoots her presumed rapist in the face and said, "I told you, I'm not interested."
But
I was
also,
like, that's nice. That's good.
Tank Girl, like that scene
Yeah.
where she's dressing up. She's not conforming to the robotic voice of like what she's expected to look like and do.
Yeah, I don't think that's
But-
anything we can read into.
Are you
though.
giving too much
Because
credence?
she was still dressing in the typical, like, sexy schoolgirl, like, nurse costume, maid costume,
Yeah.
classic whip costume. Like you'd go into a store and buy that
Yeah.
off the rack.
I'm not saying that this film succeeds.
Yeah.
but
But you feel like there was honest
I feel like
intentions?
there was honest intentions, and the crazy production design is by Catherine Hardwicke, director of numerous films, and she has a very particular style that isn't ever successful, but it is absolutely insane
Yeah.
and visually interesting for at least 10 minutes before.
Is she like the Wachowski siblings? Like,
no,
even though they fail, they're never dull.
No.
kind of, yeah. Her films are never dull, or I've never found them dull, but
Yeah.
What other films
they
have you done?
they
Twilight.
become dull because there's like 10 minutes of like, oh, this seems really interesting. Then it's like, nope, now.
It's like, oh, you're going nowhere.
No, you're going nowhere.
Right.
Which is what this
Yeah.
film is. It feels like, here's something cool, and you're like, okay, it is. And then, what else then? They're like, more cool thing? No.
See, here's
need
my thing.
more.
When this movie started, getting going, and like her hot boyfriend is killed, her home is destroyed, and she's taken prisoner by the fucking super kind of rapey patriarchy guys, and she murders a bunch of them. Like her killing that dude with her feet on the plane, like that was an amazing
that was
sequence.
great.
That was fucking awesome, and I kind of enjoyed how it became one woman's battle against like the patriarchy in prison, and then she's like, I'm gonna find my girl, and hooks up with Jet and is all like, hey Jet, we're like girlfriends now, and it was all like yeah, like fucking women fighting back. And then they break out of prison, and the movie just kind of goes, and breaks
Yeah.
both its knees.
Act 1 was great.
Act 1 was really solid.
Yeah.
Like, great job on Act 1, guys. Nailed it. Then then they meet the lady who's talking about the rain, who has a shotgun,
Oh yeah.
and then directs them to the sexy water club, and I was like, I feel like someone...
Well, Act 1's great, and then it just feels like
Then they didn't know where to
money
go.
was pulled, and people started meddling halfway through shooting.
So
and
here's
they
the
were
thing.
like-
Here's the thing. The budget for this film, in some places, absurdly high. In other places, woefully low. Where they were like, we want to have a cool, montage where the girls mod their super advanced like flying tank. Their tank and their flying machine to like be cool guys. But instead, let's just take stills from the original comic and do a montage because we don't want to fund that.
I need to find out how much this film cost.
Oh god, I dread to think. I feel like it cost more than it made.
Yeah, probably.
Yet I feel like that's a safe bet. Sean's going on to Box Office Mojo right
I'm
now.
trying to find the...
So, Shay, since the other two...
I've got it.
Alright, what's the budget?
25 million.
What?
Really?
In 1993?
That is
95.
okay.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money, but also, like,
I
it
thought
looks...
that was surprisingly low.
That's low
Because-
by modern standards, but
because-
you have to factor in for, like...
No, because back in the 90s, 25 million was what you'd give to Wes Anderson or something. Because,
Oh, really?
yeah, because, that's that mid-level Fox Searchlight type budget. That, so it's not super low budget, but you're giving the money to, prestige but not blockbuster.
It's
films.
like mid-tier.
So it's not getting the blockbuster money.
No.
Which is why it's...
But it had aspirations of blockbuster.
yeah, it's a blockbuster film, but does not have near that money.
Well, I'll tell you what they didn't have. A cinematographer who knew how to shoot action.
Oh god.
They also
Like-
didn't have a story.
Also true. I mean, I'll freely admit, I've not read Tank Girl. I feel like I want to buy the first volume of Tank Girl just so I can kind of get a sense of, what the original is like. Because based on the stills that we saw in this film, it seems like a bit surreal.
Yeah.
And I feel like this movie wanted to adapt a surrealist product, but didn't want to commit to full-on surrealism, which created this weird halfway house of like, things are a bit weird and nothing really makes sense. Ah! And also, a movie is a very different kind of medium than a comic strip. So I want to look into it more, kind of in a way, but also I'm like, I don't think I'll. Sean, what did you make of this?
Well, it's a thing of like, if there was ever a podcast for me to get my sister on, it is this one. Like
Hey, Sean's sister, look what you're missing out on.
Yes,
all these good Tank Girl times.
That's the thing, because she is a huge fan of the comic. Like, she's a huge fan of Jamie Hewlett.
Yeah, well, I'm a fan of Jamie Hewlett.
Yeah,
he's fucking great.
And so I think she's a huge fan of this comic and that, and she's been trying to get me to watch this film for about 10 years.
Oh,
I have a very long conversation with her.
have we stolen that from her?
Why does she? What was her pitch to why she?
You've got to watch Tank Girl because.
Oh god, I can't remember now. It's just
after watching a film, any reason that you might have heard, you forgot.
You're just like bruh. Please.
I think it was just simply, I think you'd like this.
I mean, here's the thing. I never really enjoyed. Well, there were bits that I liked, but I don't think I ever hated this film. I was confused by it.
Yeah.
I was sometimes a bit like, what the fuck is okay?
I think I spent about 95% of this film with my head in my hand.
95, Jesus.
But with my head in my hand, just like, what am I watching? I don't.
For the audience at home, Sean is affecting less a kind of like face palm and more a kind of lean, like an exasperated kind of.
Well, that's the thing.
kind of
I
like
seem
thing.
to watch films in just. I also seem to watch films in just like arms folded, just watching the film, and that's like my usual film watching stance.
You do have your body language.
Yes,
We've all seen it.
Exactly. I'm very.
You're like, I'm Sean. I'm watching a film. You know.
But he doesn't talk throughout.
No, he doesn't.
No, I am
He's
very
very
quiet.
He respects the rules.
Yes, but that's the thing. Throughout this, I was just sat with. Like, I'm glad I was on the edge of the sofa with an armrest.
Yeah.
Like,
so you could get your lean on.
Yeah, because it's just like it's something of like the points where my head is at the same level as the angles when they're Dutch.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like, I can watch this normally. It's fine.
They do. This film was. I feel like that the writers didn't have a lot of time. I think that feels charitable.
I guess so.
You know a movie I've been thinking about recently, which is a film I actually really quite like, mostly due to like nostalgia reasons, is Spice World the movie.
I've never seen it.
Okay,
I've
so
not seen it.
have you seen Spice World the movie?
Heard,
Forever
like,
ago.
one Spice Girls.
On the list. On the list.
Okay, yeah. The Spice Girls movie is going on.
My favourite story about EJ once is
Oh god.
we went to a party and this lovely man was like, oh, Spice Girls, Spice Girls, Spice Girls. Oh my god, I love the Spice Girls. And then he's just like, I don't know who the Spice Girls are. I don't know what they are. And he's like, what? But you're gay. And EJ was like, the other way. I'm gay the other way. That's not.
I know who they are. I just don't know what their deal is. Like, I've heard that one song. It's great.
Which one?
Which one?
Tons
They're
of
like,
ones.
we're all English. There are
Everyone-
many
yeah,
Spice
we know
Girls songs.
The one from the 90s.
That's again not helping.
The one they would always play at roller rinks.
Is it the one that's like, I'll tell you what I
So-
want,
yeah,
what I
yeah,
really,
yeah,
really
yeah,
want.
yeah.
Tell me what you want,
It's a
what you
great
really,
song.
really want. I want
It's a fucking great song.
really, really want a zig-a-zig.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll watch the Spice Girls movie.
Alright.
Because the thing is, I love the Spice Girls movie, but that is a movie that not only in construction, but also in text, acknowledges the fact that some movies are meant to be a random collection of scenes that don't really mean much. And then the movie is kind of a random collection of scenes that doesn't really mean much, but it ends strong. This movie was kind of that, but it didn't end strong.
Yeah.
If anything, it ended weird and flaccid. Like, you beat the bad guy, your new kangaroo boyfriend said, don't worry, I solved it, and then an animation of you tank surfing. Here we are, this is our lives now.
You know we should have watched instead? That is exactly that definition.
Yeah.
A weird collection of scenes with a great ending is Mamma Mia 2.
Oh, yes!
I really want to see that movie.
We are seeing it again. We already saw it. We paid for it.
Oh, and it was worth it.
Phenomenal.
I hear it's great fun.
It is a masterpiece.
I saw
Okay.
it really is.
We literally turned to each other in this specific point, and we were like, each of us were like, "This is peak cinema.
Ah!
This is peak cinema."
It
It is. We
really
need
is.
to watch it.
All right.
I watched the first 30 minutes and at work for free, and I was like, I need to leave because this is a masterpiece, and I need to watch this with friends.
Move
because-
over,
Yes.
Tartakovsky. We're just like getting
We
up
need
in the
to see
masterpiece
it.
territory.
And I paid for it because I was happy
It's all
to
right
pay.
for you to support films every now and then.
Yeah, and I was happy I supported.
I hear
that film.
Pierce Brosnan doesn't sing this time.
No, he does.
He
He
does.
does.
He
It's
does.
false.
Oh.
There's plot twists
He's-
abound. I won't spoil.
Yeah.
But, oh my god, you just can't see anything coming.
I bet I can't. Like
You can't. Mirrors play a very big part.
Well, okay.
Yeah,
here's the-
if we watch this, I will repeat this, but it plays with the dimensions of space and time
Yeah.
like no other film has done beforehand.
It's so good. We need to watch it next
So here's the
week.
thing. My experience of Mamma Mia is that I saw the stage show first,
Ooh.
and it was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Like full audience, standing ovation. I was there with like my granny and shit. Everyone had a great time. It was
Yeah.
so hype. Then I saw the movie. It just wasn't quite the same.
It's not going to be.
No.
This is way better than the first Mamma Mia.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
alright,
They
Because
lean
everyone-
into it
no one
very
has
hard.
any anxiety of what is this film or I don't
Everyone
know.
knows.
Yeah.
But like now, like Pierce Brosnan's like, oh, I was Bond, I don't know what I'm doing. This time he's like, I'm here, just getting pissed,
Do you know
having
that
a great time.
Everyone
know
in that
Everyone's just
film,
having a great
It's
time.
fucked
no,
up.
everyone in that film was drunk the whole time, and they are having the time of their fucking
I
lives.
hear Cher is like in that category.
Don't spoil it.
Everyone knows that Cher's in this movie.
Okay.
We all know that Cher's in it, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
That's
did.
like the main selling point.
I
Yeah.
forgot that I didn't see any of the trailers.
Oh.
And then Cher arrives on a helicopter. And I was like, yes!
Do you know, by the way,
So great.
in a fun, like, happenstance of conversation, do you know
Would
that...
you have preferred if Cher was Tango?
Yes!
I'd
Oh
watch
my-
Cher as
I'd watch
Tango.
Cher as anything.
Here's my thing, like, I also found out recently that, Pierce Brosnan is currently starring alongside Dave Bautista in his new film where he plays a football fan in
I've
West Ham
seen-
Stadium.
yes.
What?
And Pierce Brosnan is like the king of the terrorists or some shit?
What?
Oh.
Yeah!
When are we seeing that?
I don't know, but I'm just like, apparently Dave Bautista rides a fucking bike through West Ham Stadium and
Oh
just
my-
like punches people.
What's the name of it? I'll add it.
It's, oh mate, I can't remember. I saw the
The
trailer.
one
It's just,
where they're in West Ham Stadium.
yeah, just,
Hang on, I'll
just
just
put
stick it
Dave
down.
Batista.
Well,
Dave Batista for
West
Batista
Ham.
West Ham film.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel
that's
like
what
we
it
I don't
could
know
was.
what it means.
Like post Bond, we could watch pretty much any of Pierce Brosnan's filmography and have a great time.
But also, well, we couldn't because he's in that movie with
Post-
Jackie Chan that's really
The
dark.
Foreigner,
Yeah.
that looked great.
Damn, no, it looked dark. I was just like, it's Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, two people I mentally associate with fun comedy kung fu and like ridiculous spy stuff, being like, no, you killed my family, and I'm just like, oh shit, and then Jackie Chan's going dark. I don't like it.
I know this doesn't happen in the film, but this is what sold me on it. There was a poster of like a small version of Jack Chan running, and there's like a giant Pierce Brosnan like pointing a gun at him, like as the poster art. And then someone's like, "If this is real, I'm in."
You're in for like
I'd be
giant
in
Pierce
for giant
Brosnan versus tiny Jackie Chan.
I'd
I'd
watch
watch that.
We're pitching the good shit, so I feel like we've drifted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we care about this film so little.
I mean, like,
Well, no, we care about this film so much that we have irked its tone and methods.
I mean, we've gotten a
and
bit
gone
montagey.
crazily.
We've gotten a bit montagey. It's all over the place.
Which is in spirit of the film.
Yeah, of
So-
course, of course. I don't want to.
Correct.
I don't want to go back.
No, I don't either.
It's like
Move on, everybody.
Where to? Where else is there to go?
How long have we been talking?
I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna pick up the mic.
How long do you think? I think it's 35 minutes.
I think it's 37.
27.
All right, so EJ wins because it's been 33 minutes and 50 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I guess we'll go to final thoughts. Query. I suppose. This has been an odd podcast.
I really want to watch Mamma Mia now.
Me too.
Now you've
I-
talked
dude,
about Mamma Mia.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's only
really
10:15, but it's also a work night.
It's also like in theaters only.
Yeah, so we can.
We could come on. The internet's big enough that we could find.
We'll look after this.
Mamma Mia deserves the theater.
I tell you
Sure
what.
it
Here's
does.
my thing. Here's my thing. I like Dominic Cooper. Like, I like him, and like, cause I like Preacher, and he's good in Preacher. And then I realized, oh, he's the guy from Mamma Mia! And then I saw him talking about Mamma Mia too, and I was just like, I hope you're not like, not that being shit, I don't worry about him being shit in Mamma Mia, because I'm like, it's Mamma Mia, who cares? But at the same time, I'm like, you can't play a character as seriously and as earnestly as you do Jesse Custer in the Preacher series, and then
He's
not
not.
commit really hard to Mamma Mia. You have to be a full-on, let's go.
He's not in it that much.
Really?
He's not.
Like,
He
do you
was
know what
never
this
the
film
main.
is?
I thought he was like main love interest man for Anna Seyfried, right?
Amanda Seyfried.
Amanda
yeah,
Seyfried.
but like, I mean, this film takes place mostly like primarily in the past. Like 2/3 of it's in the past.
What?
Yeah, so it's like a.
Okay,
prequel.
that's a spoiler. I didn't know
What? I
that.
thought you
Well,
watched
what's
the
in the
trailer. How do you
trailer?
know that Cher's in
I
it?
watched the trailer and zoned out midway through. I'm just like, it's fucking.
It's a prequel sequel.
It's a
Yeah.
sequel.
A prequel
Yes.
sequel. In
Dare it be a sidequel?
The best bit of analysis that Little White Lies has ever done is compare Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again to The Godfather Part 2. In terms of like how... No, it's a great piece. Like, they talk about how the structure of like how it drifts through time and how these repetitions through time, and in Mamma Mia the repetitions
Mamma
of
Mia,
songs
Here We Go
and
Again.
time of
Here we
different
go
meanings
again.
and
Do they have the bit from the first
That was
one?
for Hannah.
Yeah, me, Hannah, and EJ just one night for 20 minutes just went, here we go again. Just
She's been saying that anytime that a customer walks up to buy a ticket to, oh, one for Mamma Mia. And
Here we go again.
She just repeats it. Here we go. Every single person.
Well, like, but all I remember from Mamma Mia 1, besides Pierce Brosnan's fucking atrocious singing, was the bit where they're doing what's the song? The one that's like about I'm old but I want to have sex with all the boys.
Oh, and then they like do dancing with scuba.
Yeah, with the scuba gear. The scuba gear dance.
That's a
Yeah.
great bit.
Do they have a bit like that in the sequel?
Oh, many.
Oh, really?
No scuba feet.
Ah, I want people in
There's
flip flops
similar
going like,
vibes.
oh, look at my
Similar
crotch and
vibes.
also my weird flipper feet. You want to have sex with this fish, man? Male merman! It's a merman thing.
Okay.
Like, no, I was on... Okay. I was on holiday recently in
Yes.
Spain, and which meant we spent a lot of time in the ocean.
Uh-huh.
And our friend of the podcast, Jenya, who ran the very successful Sex and the City night at Genesis last night.
Yep.
Fuck, that was last night. Oh my god, it's only Monday. What am I doing with my life? Oh my god. But she said the main thing she wanted from the ocean was mermen, sexy mermen.
Yeah.
And I was like, but how do you have like a thing with the mermen? They're like, because when they go on land, they turn into like dudes with like flippery feet.
What?
Have I strayed too far? Are we
Yeah.
too many layers deep?
How have we spent more time not talking
See,
about
I-
this film than we have
So,
talking about it?
I believe in like Sally Hawkins wanting to fuck that merman in.
I believe in that.
Yeah, but I don't believe.
By the way,
in,
I don't
believe
actually,
in
wait,
Tanker
hold on,
wanting to
hold
fuck
on.
a kangaroo.
I believe I would. She says.
No.
She's all like, you know what I like? You know what they say about men with big feet and they're kangaroos. They have giant. I can't believe they didn't have a shot of the giant kangaroo feet in that sequence to illustrate. She means his penis is huge.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to necessarily see a kangaroo dick, but at least want you to like lay the groundwork, bury the lead even. However, I want to issue a small retraction. I feel like in what was the fish fucking movie?
Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. I feel like we were a little unnecessarily harsh.
Okay.
On.
The movie.
Oh.
Yeah. I feel like we were quite.
That
What are
was
you laughing at, Shay?
That
Now's
was
the.
almost 9 months ago.
I know, and now that baby has birthed out of me like so much small child, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? We were a little harsh on that. I feel. I'm not holding anyone to account, but I feel like some of my arguments may have been a little disingenuous, and I just want to own up on the show, on the cast, and be like, nah, it was alright.
I have one final thought about Tank Girl.
Oh yeah,
Like,
please,
I have,
let's
like-
careen into
I-
final
like-
thoughts.
Okay, so
Our last podcast was
Malcolm
1 hour long,
Malcolm
so we need
McDowell
to cut it short.
is introduced, and he's clearly evil, and it's great, and he smashes glass map mirrors that he's made for some reason.
Yes.
Just to smash.
He's great.
And when he's about to kill the guy, he shows off a fancy circular knife that he has. And they make a big...
With a rabbit on it!
Yeah, they have an insert to show there's like a rabbit on it, and it's like, oh, this seems significant, that he's at least going to kill this guy with this knife, at least, or at least it will come back later. Guy comes over, he kills him with the weird needle bottle that came out of nowhere, and that knife has nothing to
Never
do with
got-
anything.
never
Nope,
came
you
back.
never see it again.
It broke the rule of you show a gun in Act 1, you have to fire it by Act 3.
Chekhov's gun, brah.
It literally never,
Chekhov's
ever...
circular, weirdly designed knife.
Never
Chekhov's
cuts anything.
giant fucking big... Because I was like, that's quite a big knife. You could do some damage
It was
with that
it
shit.
was like mildly a pizza cutter.
It was like a chode of a knife.
Yes.
I was drinking wine! Sean, your final thoughts on Tank Girl, apparently.
Like I said, I've got a very weird conversation with my sister to come along.
Please record it and I'll include it on this
Oh
podcast.
god, so I need to find out why the hell she likes it.
I mean,
It's
I can
so
see
much.
why you might like it. If you want to just like, if I'd smoked a bunch of drugs,
Oh, no, I feel
I'd be like, yeah! Yeah!
Yeah, I feel if you smoke a bunch of drugs and ads, the film will make up about half sense. Like,
You get like closer.
yeah,
I
you
feel.
get closer to the plot and that. But it's one of those films where like we've watched films that have been a bit insane before,
Yes.
but have been like so enjoyable to the point that we just enjoy it.
Yeah. And you feel like the Tank
It's
Girl does
just-
not meet that metric?
It's a thing of like it's nearly an hour since we finished watching it, and I still don't know what the hell I just watched. I still don't know.
Give up.
Yeah.
EJ, give me some final thoughts.
Final thoughts is I just fucking wish we'd watch Mamma Mia 2.
Well then why do you fucking... We spent so much time going, what film should we watch? Consult the list.
We only spent like 5 minutes on that.
We spent longer than 5 minutes.
Well, we
Yeah.
didn't think. Well, we should have went to the theatre. We didn't know. We
didn't know.
We could go to the theatre, Nick. We don't know the rules of the podcast. We didn't know we could take you to the theatre.
You can take me wherever you want me to go.
Alright.
Now we
Yeah.
need to go next week.
Next week? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Cool. For my final thoughts, yeah. I feel like this film had a lot of both big dick energy and big gay energy in different directions, but it just didn't deliver on any of it.
None of it.
None of it. Yeah. Enjoyable, but also ultimately, who knows what's going on over there. This podcast has been 42 minutes long, mostly of us talking about Mamma Mia 2.
Yay!
Join us-
Upcoming Mamma Mia.
Join
2
us next time, potentially, for Mamma... Actually, wait, if we go see Mamma Mia 2 real quick, then it'll be the next one. Otherwise, it'll be Power Rangers at some point. It's not no one at this podcast will be on it except me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting buried. Bye. I love you, podcast listener.